Hello, art teacher here with you again, and I told you I was going to come back and do something more with those stairs. Now, remember, do the subscriptions, do the likes, do the comments. If I'm not clear about anything, be sure to leave a comment down there. Now, on this perspective set of lessons or series, what I started with is a simple house where I introduced the idea of vanishing points. I would say go back and watch that before you watch this one. Then I talked about putting a sidewalk on there. That one isn't really a prerequisite for what we're doing today. Then I talked about how to draw stairs, and I introduced that idea, but I said I'm going to give you a more precise way to do your measurement on the stairs. Do this lesson for sure before you try to do what I'm going to show you today. Then, where we're going next is trying to put a house with stairs and a sidewalk all together as one in one drawing relating to two vanishing points like that. Now, today, this is what we're going to do. This is that addendum or that extra part that I was talking about. That's going to be a more precise way to do it. So, listen carefully as I go through, and be sure to pause this video or go back or do whatever you have to do to review it. If I'm going too fast or something, that's why you can pause, okay? So, number one, start with your two vanishing points. That shouldn't be hard. Everybody knows how to do those if you looked at the other videos. Then, you're going to do one line, which is about, I think that's 6 centimeters long, and it's going to be below the level of the vanishing point, also called the horizon line. Make your horizon line very light, but you can make this line dark and then measure it off. Mark off 6 centimeters. Mark off a little line at every centimeter. Then from the bottom of this line right here, from the bottom of that line, relate that back to this vanishing point. So you're going to take your ruler and put one end on the vanishing point, one end on the bottom of that line, and that's how you're going to get this part right there. Zip, and you're going to make that stop at an arbitrary point, but make it about as long as what I have there. Then, number two, the next thing you do, now this is, the idea here is to find the slope. And by slope I mean the angle at which these stairs go up, and make sure that that angle is properly related to the slope back here, or the angle at which they go up at the back side. That'll be more clear in just about 1 second when I show you what I mean by the slope. That's the slope right there. So, you have this line right here, which is 6 centimeters long. Then from the bottom of that, you have a line which is an arbitrary distance. Connect the top of this one to the bottom of that one, and that's going to help you to know where to place the stair steps in just a little bit. Then, very lightly, connect this corner, and this corner back to that vanishing point. So these three corners go back to that vanishing point. You might want to pause that and take a look. Okay? From there, what we're going to do is try to find the slope on the back side or the end line of the stairs. So, on the completed drawing, we're trying to find now the slope of these stairs right there. And here's how I do that. I take this line right here, the one I've already made, and at an arbitrary distance, maybe about as far as I did there, I darken that in and then do a vertical straight down. Remember, vertical means an up and down line. So I go straight down from there. Then I take my ruler and put one end on the vanishing point, one end on the bottom of that line, and that's how I make this line going all the way out to here and darken that in. Then I find the slope. I go from here down. This line and that line don't really have to be that dark, because later you're going to be erasing those. Really, the only reason you need that line and that line is to find this slope. That slope's going to be important later on. Now, step number 4. Again, you got to maybe pause these to look at them. Next thing I do is erase all that stuff you just made. So what I'm left with is the slope lines, that's these 2 diagonals, this bottom line, this line, and that top line. So this one, step number 4, that's just erasing. Step number 5, I need you to cross out the top 2 1 centimeter measurements there. Cross out, cross out. You do that because you don't want to end up with little tiny skinny steps. You need to have a decent platform on the top of your stairs. And again, to see the kind of stair steps we're making, on Google Images, do the Baltimore marble stairs. And you'll see pictures of these. They have them all over that city. Beautiful. They're beautiful, by the way. Anyway, what you need to do here is, on your little dot, the third one down, the little dot, third one down, connect that little dot to the vanishing point, and that's how you get this line right here. Scoot your ruler down, same thing with the next line. That's how you get your next one. Then you end up with 3 of them. All of them going from this end line to the slope line. Then bring this straight down to here, bring this straight down to here, and bring that straight down to the bottom. And it's starting to look like the end line of stairs already. And those relate to the slope. So you can see, instead of just estimating that slope, we have a more precise way to do it. That's what I meant in my first video when I said I was going to show you a more precise way. Now, just like in the first one, remember that first one we did of stairs? Just like in that, I circle all of these corners, the inside corners and the outside corners, and I relate those back to this vanishing point. So go from these corners, the ones I've circled, back to that vanishing point. If you did the part 3, that should be pretty easy. Now comes that last part, which is relating those lines back to this vanishing point. Start at the bottom down here. You see how this is a vertical, and you remember this process from lesson number 3, I hope. See how that's a vertical? That means this one's a vertical, but you got to start that vertical right there on where the slope meets the vanishing point line. Then, you see how this one's a vanishing point line? That means this one has to be a vanishing point line. It's not that long either. Just connect from where the top of that vertical back to this vanishing point, then a vertical, then a vanishing point line, then a vertical, then a vanishing point line. And this slope is going to help you to know where to stop those. You can pause that and take a look at it. And the last part, number 8, you can erase all those extra lines that you had, especially those slope lines. And you could even erase all of those guidelines. And that's basically a more precise way to get your stairs done. That's a little bit trickier because that slope just takes a little bit of getting used to. Once you get used to it though, it works, it'll be okay. And I want to come back next and talk about how to do stairs with a house and a sidewalk like the one I showed you earlier. And then I just have some other various perspective drawing ideas I want to share with you. That's where we're going with it. Hey, I thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you're really enjoying these. You take care. Bye.